Doing tool tips with the little metal boxes. Tool tips. Boop, 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 boop.
I'm prepped.
Yes, Helen's all prepped. Julia's here. We've got news from down under. It's going to be awesome. Here we go. All right.
I
Hey,
have
everybody.
protesting cats because I've closed the door.
Hey, everybody. It's
Fair.
me.
The fire in there. You don't want the cats and the fire in the same
I
room.
do not. I do not.
It's
That
me,
was a good
Jennifer,
safety tip
from Little Metal Foxes. And I've got Julia
from Little Metal Foxes.
and Helen.
From little boxes down under.
Boop, 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 boop. Hello, everybody. So, Helen has a really fun unboxing to do today. We're so excited. This is
Well, actually, I've left it unboxed, so we've
you
already
left it
unboxed
unboxed.
it.
You took it
Go
out
to
of the box
go to
already.
Instagram to see. Oh no, we didn't.
You
Did we?
did. You pulled it out of the
Yeah.
box.
Go to Instagram to see the unboxing.
Yeah. Okay. So, Helen, explain your situation with your torches.
Yeah. So I have been international for the last 3.5 years, now 4, and I knew going to the UK to England that I would need to get a whole new torch set up. Ooh, I'm spotlighted. Ooh. Um,
You go.
and so I was already prepared to get a new everything. So I lovingly gave my little Smith torch to my daughter. She inherited it and got a new one when I got to London. So new Smith torch, new regulators, new tanks, new everything.
Right.
So moving here, I thought, well, maybe, things might be the same because, Australia was, part of the British Commonwealth and, they're still very kind of heavily influenced by England here. And I thought maybe things would be very similar because like the same company that I rented gas from in London operates here.
Right.
But
Gotcha.
I mean, even though they're different, entities, they're still BOC.
Right.
Mhm.
And so I called them up and they said, no, we're not, anyway, long story short, got my oxygen tank, went to go get my propane. They said at the basically Home Depot of Australia's Bunnings said that asked me if I wanted internal threads or external threads on my LP tank. LP is liquid.
Liquefied petroleum gas, yeah,
Yeah.
or propane gas or something like that.
Yeah. And I was like, well, I don't know. So I did not get an LP tank that day and then proceeded to procrastinate and finally went and took all my equipment into the local jewelry supply store. And they said, yep, the UK fittings are too big. And they told me that the US fittings were actually too small. So I would have to get a whole new torch because just getting the hoses here, it was only like 100 Australian, basically kind of 60 US difference in the price of a new torch versus just getting the hoses. But I'd
Crazy.
also have to get new
Regulators.
regulators and the back.
Flashback
Oh my God.
arresters.
Thank
Yes.
you. Flashback arrestor. I did not get a lot of sleep last night, so this is showing. Okay. So I said, well, that would be $1,000 basically to get a whole new set, which 1,000
Oh my
Australia.
gosh. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah. It's I mean, 600 US-ish, somewhere in that range. But still,
Oh,
chunk of change.
that's money.
Yeah. Yeah.
You already have a
So
torch, right? It's like real money to buy a second torch when you already have one. Yes.
exactly. Yeah. So they handed me a catalog and I'm repeating myself from Instagram. I love a good catalog. And went through and was looking at all the things and I found
The
this little,
tiniest Orca torch ever.
look at it.
It's the
We
Orca torch. Oh my gosh.
we
Turn it
and
around, turn it
awesome.
around so you can see the logo.
Uh, oh, there.
There
There.
it is.
Yeah. So you can see that it says Orca on it.
Oh, that's awesome.
There you
So
go.
is the torch part of this the same size as the Orca Torch for the expanded version for propane?
I believe so.
According to everything that Julia and I have been discussing before, yes. So I watched some videos the Australian jewelry supply, jeweler supply here, local, had on their website where they sell this a video that they did a demonstration on 5 years ago.
Wow. Okay.
I watched it to see if this was going to be because it's 220 Australian dollars, and Otto Frei is like 120, but it's on sale right now for 114.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh, well, that's very interesting because I know the Orca Torch is very good because otherwise Julia would never have purchased it. And
Thank you for that vote of confidence.
So true.
and she's been using this now. I've now since learned she's been using the Orca Torch for the past 15 years. So I
Or
knew that
more.
if I had any issues, I had a ready in
Mhm.
on information.
Right.
And then I found another video that demonstrated that you can change the tips. The tips that you can use on the regular propane torch are interchangeable with the tip that comes with this one.
Mhm.
So
it's like,
that's the small tip that's on this one.
yeah,
And
this is the small tip.
And you can buy the medium
comes
and the
with.
large tip. Right. So if you've already got an Orca Torch and you need something that's portable, this is a great solution, right?
Right.
So
Yes,
you've already got your tips.
because you can use the tips you already have. Yep.
Right.
Hmm.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Okay. So,
Yeah. So
you said you found this on Otto Frei.
Are you talking to me?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. And Otto Frei, one of the things I love about Otto Frei is they have really good, specification information. And so they mentioned that the maximum temperature for this one is 2280 Fahrenheit or 1250 centigrade. And then they say that the runtime on a full charge of butane is 40 to 120 minutes, because that was one of the other things that Helen had found. Oh, there it is. Yeah.
Yep. I
40 to
just saw
120.
it on the box.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
They're just repeating what's on the box.
yeah. So,
Yep.
so full speed, full size, the big size, 40 minutes on full, or 2 hours with the small
Mhm.
tip.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing. Okay.
Well, with this, it's probably with this tip, but it's the size of your flame. So with a 2.5 centimeter or 1 inch flame,
Right.
you go 2 hours
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
ish.
And then if you crank it up and crank it open, and if you open the nozzle, the air, so that you have more, because the more air you have coming in, the more fuel you're burning as
Okay.
well.
Yeah.
So this is the Orca Hobby MP99. All
Yep.
right.
Yep.
Is the model number. And you can find that in the States at Otto Frei and in Australia, or I bet you can find it if you're in the UK.
Sao Paulo?
And if you're in San Palo, absolutely, because those come from Brazil.
Brazil.
Brazil. Okay. So awesome. All right. So this little crazy thing. Now it's all brass fittings at the top, which is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Which
durable.
can't melt unless you're really abusive. Which I love because some of the other butane torches I've used, I've melted the plastic parts that help control the oxygen intake.
Yeah.
Or the atmospheric intake. And that's another big plus for this is I can control the size of the flame.
Right.
This is the fuel, this is the air.
So you can control both.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Show us how you fill it with the butane.
So you got to fill it
so
just like a regular.
You take this off because this is just the stand. And just like, any other butane thing, you put it in here and you press it down. Hold on, let me get away from all my stuff. And they do suggest that you wear gloves because butane is not necessarily something you want all over your hands.
Right.
And you just press
until it fills. You hear like
until it fills. I'm not going to fill it.
Yeah, you can feel it kicking out the top when it's full.
Yeah. And then once it sputters, somebody recommended that you just you set it up, let it settle for a little bit, and then try it again. And then once it doesn't do anything but sputter, it's full.
Okay. Good tip.
So set it back down.
Hmm. Now, I know with some of the other torches, you've got to have like, you have to have two hands to like one hold the button down and then
Oh
this
my God.
lock and then click the thing
Such
until.
a pain in the butt.
So this one doesn't have a self striker, which is nice
No.
because those things do wear out on the like the other butane torches.
Yeah.
The piezo starter.
Oh, what? It's so adorably unintimidating. Oh,
It's a good thing I'm wearing black, actually.
Yes,
oh
it
my
is.
gosh, that's fantastic.
Let's see how small I can get it before it shuts off. That's pretty small. I mean,
Yeah. But if you're doing,
without
That's
burning
that's
myself.
your that's your 1 inch flame there,
yeah,
probably.
yeah.
Oh, shit.
So yeah, one of the big complaints about the self-striking or self-starting butane torches is that those strikers wear out inside the torch and they're not expensive, but they don't last forever. What? Add some more oxygen. What?
But you can get, that's probably a pretty soft, it's probably not very hissy. It's probably a very soft flame, nice reducing flame. And then as you add more oxygen, it just gets hotter and hissier and louder. We can't hear that, of course, because Zoom knocks that out, but
Yeah.
That's amazing. Awesome.
So I don't want to, I'm at home. I
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
own this place.
Well, that's amazing. I mean, that is, I mean, even with the butane, you have like a up down, kind of adjustment, but you're not really able to adjust the oxygen and the fuel separately, first of all. And the self striker wears out. So
mm-hmm,
some of them can be, $50 for the butane ones.
mm-hmm.
They have like really small ones and they have really big ones, but this is great because you can get such a huge variety of flame out of
Yeah.
that one thing. So,
Some of the newer, larger butane torches, I believe, do have better adjustments for the air gas ratio. Some of the early ones that were a little small were basically it was just kind of on and off, and you
right,
might have had like one or two, like you had a little thing that would adjust the amount of
right, right. And,
gas we're getting.
but when you've got like the safety lock and like a slidey thing and then a self starter, and then you sit there and you go click, 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 because it's an
And
electric.
then, I'm admitting my age. When you have a little bit of arthritis,
Yeah. But that is a brilliant solution. So, yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
And oh wait, lost my train of thought. Oh my God.
That is a brilliant.
Oh, because I'm a little heavy-handed, having no plastic parts except for the little handle here. No plastic parts near the flame.
Right.
I've melted my one of my first butane torches a little bit, the little air control nozzle
Yeah.
or dial.
Well, Julia, you've got an Orca torch that you use all the time.
Mhm.
Does the brass on that get hot
The
after?
tip does. The
Yeah.
tip, of course, gets hot, but the back part doesn't. No,
Okay.
the adjustment for the atmospheric air, the quantity of air doesn't get hot.
Yeah, because a lot of butane torches, you can't get, I mean, they get hot all the way down.
No, no, I've been super happy with mine.
That's awesome.
I
Yeah.
was going to say one of the nice things too is that even if you're not moving, your torch is that torch is very portable. You can, burn the
Super
butane out of
portable.
it and travel
I
with it, go to a show,
mean, look at
whatever.
the size in my hand,
Right.
and I've got not big hands.
Yeah,
This is very comfortable to hold.
yeah. And
Not heavy.
worldwide, well, the nice thing about this is you can carry it all over the world.
Everywhere!
So, yeah, I mean, you can get butane at any gas station, right?
Well, I was gonna say, I actually go to cigar shops
Hmm.
because they have better butane. It's more pure. But it doesn't, I mean, that's only me because I don't like it to sputter.
Yeah,
But, you know,
yeah,
anywhere you can get butane. Ta-da!
right. Worldwide.
Worldwide.
So you don't have to worry about
no fittings.
you don't have to worry about your fittings. You don't have to worry about the hoses, flashback arresters, any of that stuff. Now you've got, well, and the thing that I think is really spectacular about this, rather than even the butane torches, is that the regular butane torches like that you would buy on Amazon. This is
Like a creme brulee with this.
well, yeah, but it's a small tip, it's highly adjustable, and it's
Yes.
not really intimidating. So for a lot of people
No,
that are just starting out, that are hobbyists, that really want to have
you're
a
not dealing with oxygen and trying to worry if you're going to blow up your place, even though I have learned oxygen is only a catalyst. It is not, or whatever, accelerant. It is not the thing that goes boom
right.
all by itself.
Yeah. It's just in conspiracy with other gases.
Yes.
I think so.
It's
But
like,
also,
oh, you
if
want to
you
burn
start-
hotter? Yes, let's go hotter.
if you start with this torch, like if you're just getting into it, if you start with this torch and then you're going to upgrade and get a propane torch, then at least your tips are interchangeable, which is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
that's what I
like
was gonna
Julia
say. Yeah.
uses disposable tanks in hers. She doesn't have a
'Cause I
whole
don't-
big.
Right. You can
So
get the larger tanks or the
easy
regulators
peasy,
for the
lemon
larger ones,
squeezy.
but yeah, I
Yeah.
use the disposable propane tanks because it's just propane and they
Worth
last me
the
months.
money.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
worth the money.
you've
Worth the money.
you've got a torch that if you want to, like you said, go to a bigger studio and really invest in something that's a little more, permanent. The propane is great, but it's an easy changeover from this small handheld portable torch to a larger Orca torch that's exactly the same torch head with the same fittings. That's amazing because I can't take my little torch and suddenly turn it into like a bigger torch. I can change the tips on it to get a different flame, but I can't suddenly make that into like, a bigger oxyacetylene torch for melting,
Mhm.
stuff.
Yeah, and what I'm assuming is that also if you wanted to do some limited run casting, which I am going to want to do at some point,
Yeah.
getting the big tip will make that much easier.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, it will be a lot of and fueling and fueling, but
Yeah.
because I've
Well,
not ever done it, but
yeah. Well, and knowing, especially in the casting situations, I mean, for annealing and soldering and fusing, that's going to be great. But yes, you could also cast with it. You just have to know the limitations of what you can melt, basically.
what your know the limitations of your equipment and your metal and
Absolutely. Yeah.
yada yada.
Absolutely. And as always, make sure you're working in an area that's properly ventilated. And yeah, so there you go. Well, there you go, people. Awesome.
Yay!
Helen, thank you for sharing that. That was really exciting. It's good I
Of
really love
course.
this. Yes. All right. So you guys, did we have any questions in the chat there?
Oh, I was being
see.
all
You were
Nope.
being the star of the show, so
unusual for me. I
It's
was the one doing all the
awesome.
talking today.
Yes, absolutely. Well, and everybody, if you've got if you're using an Orca torch or something similar, or if you're trying this for the first time, let us know because we would love to hear your feedback on the MP99 torch. Absolutely. And if you're using it worldwide, wherever you are, how does yours work? What are you using? And what situation are you in with your torch? But like, share, ring the bell. Like it right now. Or you're liking things? Like it now. We like you. You should like us too. All right, everybody. Have a great week, and we will see you next week for Tooltip Tuesday. Bye, everybody.